Hey everyone, greetings family, friends, and far-flung relations. I'm Dave. You know me probably if you're watching this video. For the past year I've been gardening and doing a lot of home improvement / creative projects that I really love, and I don't get a chance to share it with a whole lot of people because everybody lives far away, because I traveled a bunch and because people just move away, and that's the way things go. But I figured I'd start making some videos to share what I think is a kind of cool part of my life with other people, and hopefully it'll inspire some people or otherwise just help people feel connected with who I am, since I don't get to Skype or write letters to or meet up personally with all the people that I'd like to keep in touch with. So hopefully this way, if I release some videos and write some blogs and do stuff like that along with Jackie, who I live with and share this project with, I'll be able to keep in touch with people better and just be more part of people's lives, and they can have this as a point of interaction with me. So I'm just going to give you a little tour. First of all, I'll show you what we've been doing around here and get you caught up. So right now we're in the front yard. We live in a little suburb of eastern Columbus. We have less than 1/4 of an acre, and I'm just going to show you what it looks like. So it's evening time, so the shadows are going to look a little bit I'm going to have to get used to using my camera is what I'm trying to say. Here we have a few fruit trees. These ones in the front right here are peach trees. Over here is a plum tree, and you can see over here and over here are 2 apple trees. This is our front yard. This is called a hardy mimosa tree. We thought it was dead when we got it, but a little tiny guy sprung out from roots underneath the ground, and it's looking nice and cute, and hopefully it doesn't get trampled by a marauding deer. Yes, I did say deer, though we're in the suburbs. This is a pawpaw tree. And so our front yard, oh, I guess I'll show you in between the trees too, are some other things. This guy's called a silverberry bush. It produces little silver and red berries, as far as I understand. Yet to be empirically ascertained, but that's the word. This guy is a autumn olive plant. Same story, it's related to the silverberry. And this is a buffalo berry. All 3 of these plants are nitrogen fixers. They take nitrogen from the air and they put it in the ground, unlike some other plants which suck more nitrogen up. And the whole idea of this project is not only to get us food and grow stuff, but keep the land healthy and fertile. Around the silverberry bush here, we have 3 zucchini plants. No fruit on them yet, but we just started them a few weeks ago and they look really nice. This is called a ground cherry. It's a plant that's related to tomatoes, and let's see if we've got any little guys. You can see this little lantern right down here. The ground cherry is related to tomatoes, and it's related to tomatillos, and it produces little fruits that grow in those little lantern-shaped sacs. It's nowhere near mature yet, but it just sort of crawls around the ground, and hopefully we'll get a little bit of food out of it. And over here on this side of the yard we have just some aesthetic annuals. This is called Persian Shield. We really like different colors, and not just flowering plants, but stuff that has colorful leaves. So you can see some of those growing out around here. And right over here we have 4 cucumbers that are hopefully, I don't know if this is a sturdy enough trellis for the cucumbers, but the idea is that they're gonna vine up along the trellis. And if they can't, I'll just support it with some more stakes. So the whole point of this front yard is that we wanted to make it beautiful because our neighbor's gonna see it and we're gonna see it. But we also wanted to grow stuff that grows food in our yard and make it kind of productive. The pawpaw that I showed you earlier, that's a native Ohio fruit. It's related to something called the soursop, which I ate when I lived in Fiji. It was delicious, but it's kind of maybe a softball size or a little bit less size native fruit. These are 2 hazelnuts or filberts. I depending on where you are. And these are sweet potatoes in a little mounds right here. This is called omija. It's a plant that they grew a lot in the region that I lived with in South Korea, so a little piece of South Korea. And these two plants right here are called gooseberries, and you can see the little gooseberries growing on there. So, the story of the front yard is, as I said, that we wanted to grow something that was pretty and productive, because we waste a lot of yard, I think, on lawns and burn a lot of gas taking care of them. And I don't personally love mowing the yard. I don't know a whole bunch of people that do. But as long as we're gonna have to upkeep something, we hoped that we could make it productive. And we also wanted it to be like a point of contact with our neighbors, because we don't, I don't know, we didn't see our neighbors very much before we started doing this project. But we had hoped that if we were out in the front yard working all the time and building stuff and doing stuff to make the neighborhood pretty, that we'd meet people, and that's actually come true. We've met a couple of our neighbors, and Steve and Rick, which are the next door and the next door down, and then sometimes we meet our neighbors on the other side too. But it's cool because they're really into the project and they really dig it. Let's just finish up the front yard. I will show you the bushes that we've got beside my truck over here. Right here is another pawpaw. And then we have a currant beside it. You can see a little tiny currant growing, little bunch of berries there, some berries up here. Right beside that currant, we have the biggest ground cherry in the yard. You can see lots of little lanterns buried in there. I'm looking forward to sampling these out. I've never actually tasted ground cherry. And this one is another ground cherry, but it's not doing so well. Here's another currant. That one doesn't have any berries on it, but this one certainly does. So we've got 3 currants. A couple of them are black currants, I think, and one's a red currant. And finally we have our last pawpaw tree. So that's the front yard. Really happy to be growing stuff in the front yard because it's social, and it's certainly not the norm in our area to grow things that are like edible in the front yard. But the backyard's, I think, way cooler, and I'll take you back there in a moment.